Today I am welcoming my special guest, life coach Eureka Dustin. How you doing today, Coach Eureka?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for having me as a guest.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited. I told you I was ready to pick your brain today. Just to have a life coach, a like-minded woman who's been in the field for so long. So for the listeners who don't know you know the field you're in, just share your name and a little bit about your journey and how you came into coaching.
All right. So I am life coach Eureka Dustin. I have been a professional life coach since 2013, so 9 years now. I actually started off as a stress management coach, and then I became a certified life coach. And along the way, I picked up a whole bunch of certifications. I am a lifelong learner. Right now, I'm focusing on being a certified professional life coach for parents and families and being a certified resilience coach. But I'm also a certified spiritual life coach. I'm certified in mindfulness and meditation. I'm a children's yoga instructor. So all things right now is about self-care and helping families practice self-care.
Okay, that's super exciting. Like I said, I see a lot of your stuff about the yoga. So how is that? Is it just kind of like a meditation type of thing?
So honestly, people assume yoga is like a religion, but it's not. I'm a Christian. And so yoga is actually more of a lifestyle. It's how you treat people, how you treat your body. It's meditating and acknowledging your higher power. It's, the asanas or the poses. That's what most people think about when they think of yoga, right? The stretching and being in the little moves. So it's about all of that, but the meditation is a huge part, and treating people well is a huge part of yoga. And, being aligned to your higher power is a huge part of yoga. And so with kids, I teach them how to do the poses, but also I teach them how to meditate. I teach them how to practice self-control. I teach them how to treat other people, all through yoga and meditation. So it's a really good thing. And it helps people relax, not only adults, but also kids. My 4-year-old does yoga. He knows how to meditate. My 11-year-old does yoga every night before bed, and she meditates every night before bed because she was having nightmares and having problems sleeping. Now she does not. And yes, she still prays before bed too. But it's just another way to practice spirituality in a way that's taking care of your body and your soul and your mind.
Okay, that's so good. I love that. And like I said, I don't know much about yoga and everything, but of course, I'm a big, I pray, I meditate, everything like that. And that's when I hear about it, not knowing much about it, but hearing about it, that's kind of the things people say, like a religious type of thing. But I'm like, I don't really know much about it. So just the meditation part, that's the part that I kind of, know a lot about. So yeah, that's super good. So how are your kids enjoying doing it?
They love it. My son, the 4-year-old, he's like a whole yogi now. He wants to do yoga all day, every day. He wants to meditate. If he hears the word meditate, he goes into his peace begins with me. My daughter, she enjoys it now. All those poses, she's like, Mom, I'm tired. I got other stuff to do. But she'll do it, but she prefers the meditation piece of yoga, which is fine. But they love it so much, and we have so much fun. We sing songs, we do little silly dances. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's super cool. And it's just more interaction for kids because I guess since the pandemic, it's like stuff kind of still, so having those inside, outside activities at home, I feel like that's really cool too.
Yeah, it's definitely something to get kids up and moving, because my kids became couch potatoes during the pandemic. They just want to lay on the couch and be on a device. And I'm like, nope, get up. We're moving around. We're doing stuff.
Yeah. They're like, wait, we ain't used to this. I love your plants in the background.
Thank you. Listen, I am a plant mama. I love my plant babies. So I like to have them in the background whenever I'm doing like a podcast or even doing a session with a client. What I've learned is it helps to calm me, and seeing the plants will calm my clients down during a session.
Yeah, it's funny, but I noticed it. But that's actually one of the questions I have for you. So since we're talking about it, I'm gonna just go ahead on and bring it up. As far as purpose, does purpose and plants go hand in hand? And I asked.
I think so, because I think plants serve a purpose, right? And
Yeah.
I feel like plants help me to serve my purpose. So I'm a very spiritual person. Nature is one of the ways I connect with God, because God created this beautiful planet with all these trees and flowers and everything in between, right? And
Yeah.
it's just something about having plants surrounding me puts me at peace. I feel like I'm closer to God. But this is coming from a person who got married in a garden. And people are like, you're not getting married in a church. I'm like, no, I feel closest to God when I'm surrounded by God's creation. So
Yeah.
I got married in a garden. I love flowers. I love plants, but I was scared I wouldn't be able to like grow plants, right? But last Mother's Day, my husband bought my first baby that's right back here. Her name's Zaza. And Zaza is my first plant baby. And she literally gave me a purpose, right? To take care of her, to make sure she had everything she needed. But she also reminds me to take care of myself, make sure I have everything I need, make sure I'm drinking my water, make sure I'm getting sun because she needs some sun, making sure I'm checking the roots, that I'm pruning off dead leaves, that I'm just taking care of myself and giving myself space to grow, because sometimes she gets big, right? And she has to go to a new pot. And sometimes I outgrow spaces and circles and I have to go to a new pot. So there is purpose in plants.
Yeah. I love the way you broke that down. And I asked because it's like ever since I, came into my season of beginning to walk in my purpose and do, the things that God created me to do, I just want to go buy some plants. Like I'm just sitting at home and I'm just looking around in my home office and I'm like, I need some plants. And that's something, like I say, I wanted to ask you, so I wanted to bring it up while I was looking at your plant because it really caught my attention. So, well, I forgot to ask you this. So what made you want to be on the podcast today?
I don't know. I like podcasts, right? I'm a podcaster myself. So when I can be on the other side and I can be the one being interviewed, it's kind of cool. And I like to talk to people about interesting things. And I love connecting with other life coaches. So this is your open invitation to be on my podcast too, April. But it's just something about getting together with folks, collaborating and talking to different audiences to say, hey, here's a little hope. Here's a little purpose. Here's a little piece, just spreading around and sharing it with others.
Yeah. I remember talking to you a few months ago when we did our call, and that was before I even started doing the interviews. And it's like now I believe you're my fifth podcast guest.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it's like you say, it's just really, I'm just enjoying it so much, connecting with other like-minded women, like-minded people, and just having, real conversations that need to be had that, you don't find many platforms where they are being had. So I'm really enjoying it. And to bring up your group, like your group is, I know it's been a blessing to me. I know it has been a blessing to so many people. Like at least I believe 3 of my guests I've had have, connected with me from the group, from your group. So just talk about your group and just share how that even, came about.
All right. So Black Life Coach Connection. It's like this amazing Facebook group, right? It all started because I was on Facebook in January 2020 before the world shut down. And I asked my Facebook friends, how do I find my tribe? And they were like, oh, you got to go meet people and network and all this and that. I'm an introvert. Yes, I'm a life coach, but yes, I'm a huge introvert and I'm rather shy. So I was like, I'm going to start my own tribe. I'm starting a Facebook group for Black life coaches. For one, I have life coach friends, of course. Some of them, like I got certifications with, some I met along the way, but I wanted to meet more people and I wanted us to be able to collaborate and to support one another. So I was like, I'm starting this group. I started it. I invited all my life coaching friends. They started inviting their friends and people started finding us, right? And so Black Life Coach Connection was this space for Black life coaches, the ones that look like us, to get together, to network, to ask questions, to encourage each other. It was never about competition. It was always collaboration over competition from the beginning. And now we have like 2,500 members. So officially, I started the group in like February 27th, 2020. So still before the big shutdown. But, you know, over the pandemic, lots of people found life coaching, lots of people found the group, and they found a place to feel safe, right? Where they can ask questions, where they can learn about opportunities, where they can find people to partner with, where they can find people to interview for podcasts, right? It's been such an amazing space. I've made friends in the group. I've gotten clients from the group, but I'm not the only one. Other people are getting clients. Other people are making friends. Other people are finding ways to make money because of this group. We all do the same thing, but guess what? We all help each other, and that's the beauty in it. So if you are an aspiring life coach or a practicing life coach and you identify as Black, join us on Facebook.
Yes, I love it. And wait, did I hear you correctly? You say 2020? When I first found your group, I thought that was something that had, you know, been there for years, like the way it is and the people. Wow.
2020, it was such an interesting year.
Yeah, that's amazing. Just to have a group is like, it's really a powerful group. Just to have Black life coaches helping each other, connecting with each other, and there's no judgment. You literally could come in there and just ask a question about anything in the field and somebody's gonna answer it. Like, that's just what I love. And I found it because when I first got certified in November of last year, and after that, you know, my life coach talked about starting a Facebook group and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, before I even start my own group, let me go look for groups. So that's kind of how I found it. I just started searching for life coaches groups on Facebook, and then I seen Black life coaches. I'm like, okay, let me get into this one. And it's like, yeah, like I just was looking, you know, one day I just was looking, and I'm sure that's how a lot of, you know, other people have found it as well. And like I say, the group is really a blessing. Most of my guests have come from the group. So, you know, we have, you know, a lot to talk about. They see what I see in the group, and other coaches are just coming into coaching just like I am. So yeah, that group is Black Life Coach Connection is on fire.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And you know what? We are just getting started because I'm almost ready to step outside. I've been in the house all through the pandemic, right? So I'm inching my way out, and people are like, so Eureka, are you going to like have Black Life Coach Connection chats in different states? I'm like, that'll come when I feel safe to get on a plane. But until then, you know, we're gonna keep doing our thing on Facebook. But you know, next year, if y'all see me out and about, don't be shocked, because Black Life Coach Connection can be coming to your state.
Yeah, and I seen is it a meetup coming up? I seen
Yes, there's a meetup coming up in North Carolina. So I live in North Carolina, in the RDU, or the Triangle. So we're having a meetup at a Black-owned, veteran-owned coffee shop at the end of this month, so on April 30th, just for, you know, the North Carolina coaches and anyone, I guess, if you want to fly in and hang out with us, of course you can. But we're just going to meet up and chat, you know, hang out in person, which is huge for me. I haven't done this since pre-pandemic.
Wow. So you got to get prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just to kind of step back out. And but that's super cool. I seen it. I'm like, man, I wish it was in Louisiana, or, you know, I had time to fly out. But that's super cool. In the future, you know, I want to be a part of things like that. So that's super cool. I'm glad y'all doing that.
Thanks.
So one of my next questions is just to kind of touch on entrepreneurship overall. For any new entrepreneurs like myself, or even someone who may have been an entrepreneur for years, what do you feel are the foundations of entrepreneurship?
Listen, this is what somebody taught me, and now it's like my charge to share with the world. If you are a spiritual entrepreneur, if you believe in God, if you claim to be a believer, God needs to be the head of your business, just like he's the head of the rest of your life. If that's what you're proclaiming. An amazing pastor taught me that. And I've known her for years. She recently got her doctorate. Hey, Dr. Latrice Williams, but she's an amazing woman of God and an entrepreneur, right? And she was like, Sharika, let God be the head of your business. She said, pray for divine strategy. And that's exactly what I started doing. Like, that's my prayer for my business. God, please give me divine strategy so that I can do things in alignment with God. When I started letting God lead my business instead of just me trying to figure it out, everything transformed. So a year ago, I still had a full-time job. I was still clocking in, like I was working from home though. So I would clock out at 5 p.m. from my work computer, but I had a client at 5 p.m. on my personal computer. And it's just like, it was hard. I'm a wife, I'm a mom. My kids need me, of course, but I'm just like, if this is what I want to do, this is what I have to do, right? And I trusted God. And Dr. Williams told me, she was like, Sharika, stop doubting yourself. God gave you these gifts to use. So that's my other piece of advice. If you're an entrepreneur, yes, it's hard. It's not easy. I'm not going to pretend as if it's easy. It's not. It's hard. It's real work. But God gave you your gifts for a reason. Use them. Use them to glorify God and to help God's people. That's what it's about. And here's the last thing I'll say. Everybody goes into business to make money, right? But if money is your sole concern and your ultimate purpose, business might be a little hard for you. But if you show up and focus on your purpose and how you're helping people and how you're giving back in this world, the provision will come, the money will come. But you don't have to focus on money, and don't let, chasing money prevent you from being a good person, right? Because when people focus on money too much, they'll treat people any kind of way just to get to the money. And it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all, because as soon as you get it, you can lose it. But if you treat people right, God will take care of you. And you won't even have to worry about the money. The money will be there. You will be okay. Like, literally, let me share this. I was scared to leave my job. I had a good job. I worked for an R1, a Research One university. It was a good job, great benefits. It was amazing.
Like a great job.
Yeah, it was. It was literally my dream job. I prayed for that job, literally. But I knew it wasn't for me. Like, I was there, I did it. I showed up, but it caused me so much anxiety. I was so worried. I was in tears all the time. It didn't sit right in my spirit. And I was like, what is God trying to tell me? Literally, I talked to Dr. Williams. I was like, look, I don't know. I feel like I can't stay here. And she was like, Sharika, you know what to do. Listen to God, right? You will be fine. You will be okay. I talked and cried to my therapist. I was like, I can't stay here. She was like, you can't. It's time for you to let it go. I cried to my husband. My husband's a teacher. So if y'all know anything about teaching in North Carolina, teachers don't make a whole heck of a lot of money. And he was like, Sharika, I just want you to be happy. Leave the job. And I was like, I don't know, God, because how we gonna pay these bills? How we gonna feed these kids, right? Yeah. But I left. I took the leap, a huge leap of faith. I left June 18th of 2021, last day at my job. So on Juneteenth, I had my little Juneteenth shirt on, like, hey, liberated from my job, right? I'm a full-time entrepreneur. And God has not failed me yet. You have to trust God. And so here's the other thing. I said I was going to get 3 tips, right? But here's the fourth thing. Just because you see people around you leaving their full-time jobs or letting go of side hustles and all that, that does not mean it's your time to leave your job. God will let you know when it's time to leave your job, if it's ever time to leave your job. Some people run a business and work for someone at the same time for a long time. I did that for years. So, don't get clouded by what you see on social media and everybody's making 6 figures 6 months after they start a business. It's not true. Most people will not even turn a profit for about 3 to 5 years in any business. So you follow God, you do what God tells you to do, and God will take care of the rest. But you have to be obedient and in alignment. Okay, April, I'm gonna shut up now.
Yeah. Look, you could go. I was loving that. I was loving it because that's just so important. God is the foundation of my life. The business I'm starting is like, okay, he called me to what I'm doing. So I can't do it without him. I didn't know anything about life coaching. All of this was is what God led me to. So it's like he has to be the foundation. He is the foundation because I cannot do something he called me to without him. And I love what you said about chasing it because I can't remember who I heard say it. I think I was on just a virtual course. I was doing something. I can't even remember. I've been doing so much. But they were saying, as far as chasing the bag, like, we should be chasing purpose. And then the bag will chase us. So like I say, that just hearing it before and then you saying it, it's like, that's just, like I say, that's how it should be. We shouldn't, of course, you get into something and the goal is to, make money from what you're doing. But, this kind of work in any type of entrepreneurship, it should be for a purpose. Like I say, you're doing it eventually, the money's going to come, but it's really and truly about helping people. So for me, like starting off, it's like, okay. And I remember having this conversation with you. It's like at that time, I just was all over the place. Because, starting out, it is hard because you're trying to figure out this, you're trying to figure out that. I don't know what it is, but when I was telling you about my job. Now I'm still at my job, but my 9 to 5 is a 3 to 11. So I remember telling you about that. And it's like coming into coaching, it's just so much comes out the blue and comes at you. People, DMing, saying this, saying that, oh, I can help you do this, help you do that. And it's like, wait, where does all this even come from? Like, like, did you deal with that or experience that in the beginning?
Yes, I still deal with that. Like, legitimately, there are people in Black Life Coach Connection, and this is no shade to them, because I tell people, like, I keep it very honest. I'm very transparent. But I will like encounter coaches on Instagram. They're in my group on Facebook and they'll slide in my DMs. Like, I can help you book clients. And I'm like, you are in my group. I don't need help booking clients, but I see what you're doing. I see you marketing. You're trying to do your thing, right? I see you promoting. Yeah. And I've had people like, yeah, I can help you convert clients into cash and all this stuff. And I'm like, you're really in my group though. Like, you don't have to do all that with me. Do that with somebody else who don't know you. Right. But I've seen you in the group. I pay attention, right? But yeah, I still deal with it. Coaches come out of the woodwork. Every day there's a new coach sliding into my DMs, making promises of how they can help me like make 6 figures in 2 days. And I'm just like, come on now. Like, I'm not interested. And sometimes I just block them. Like, if they're not in the group, I'll just block them. But if they're in the group, I'll say something bad. I'm like, hey, I'm around Black Life Coach Connection, right? But it's just like, that's what people do. People see that you're a coach and that you're promoting yourself as a coach. And then it's like, oh, I got something to sell you, because they're chasing the bag. And some of them use the same exact script. And I'm just like, I've seen this before. I get the little DMs like, oh, I saw inconsistencies on your Instagram page. I saw inconsistencies on your website. Yeah. Okay.
That's so funny. And it's like at first, well, I'm still in the beginning stages, but like maybe the first month or two, I'm like, okay. But now it's like it gets kind of annoying because it's like it's just so much coming at you, so many people, and you're like, okay. And me, I'm like, okay, God, this ain't fit sitting right with my spirit. I know you ain't sending them my way. And it's like even that's so important. You just praying for guidance, direction, instructions, knowing, like I said, anybody can come and anybody will come, but that doesn't mean it's the right opportunity, it's the right person. So I think for me, that's something I struggle with a little bit, and I know other, entrepreneurs and life coaches may struggle with that too, because it seems like it's so many people trying to help you, but at the same time,
let me give you a little bit of advice. When you want help, ask for it. You don't have to wait for somebody to just show up and offer it to you. Like, that's something I learned from my mom. She was like, if you need something, or if you have a question, or if you need help, ask. And you will know the people to ask. Like, pray for guidance of who to ask, right? And then it won't feel so inauthentic. It won't feel fake. It won't feel like a sales pitch, right? And I get what people are trying to do, because I know they're trying to make money. They're business people, they're entrepreneurs, but it just feels so forced. Nobody likes that. And I tell the coaches that I mentor and the ones I train, like, don't do that. Don't be that person sliding into DMs trying to sell something, because that's what those people are trying to do. They try to pretend they're trying to help, but they're not really helping. And something I truly believe in is serving before you sell. So you literally help people. You offer things of value, even if you don't sell them anything. There are plenty of times that, I offer advice, literally to offer advice to help someone. Like, hey, I noticed you did this. And it's not me trying to get them to sign up for something. It's like, yo, I saw this typo, right, on your Instagram page or something. Or I saw you had a question about this, and I'll answer the question. And that's one of the reasons why Black Life Coach Connection, the Facebook group, exists. So people can ask their questions without feeling as though somebody's just going to hop on them and try to sell them something. It's like to really get advice. And there are other groups like Black Life Coach Connection. I can't pretend that I'm the only group, I have the only group that's offering help to people. There are so many groups, especially now with a lot of the Black business groups like on Facebook, right? That came out of the whole desire of Black people wanting to keep our money in rotation with each other. So I know in North Carolina, there, like, even in my little part of North Carolina, there's like Black business groups where we can network, we can ask questions, we can help each other. And I know I can go to those groups and ask a question, right? And it feels better than just having somebody bombard me with things in my DMs or my private messages. So don't be afraid to ask for help. If you know someone who's doing something similar, if they're open to it, all you gotta do is ask if they can answer a question. They're going to say yes or no. And if they say no, find somebody else. I get a lot of DMs asking me questions, right? I answer the questions. I don't usually say, oh, go book a consultation, unless it's a long question. I'm like, no, wait a minute now. I can't go back all day back and forth. But a quick question, I don't mind answering, because I want to help people. When people are genuinely helping people, you can tell. What is it? You can tell by the fruits that they bear, right? That's in the Bible. So you pay attention to the type of fruit people are bearing. And you can tell the ones who really aren't about helping folks for real.
Yeah, that's so good. Just from everything you said, like community, that's what's key, and that's what's so important, because like I say, coming into coaching and entrepreneurship overall, I'm sure for anybody, it's kind of like, okay, well, should I be doing this right now? This. It's kind of like you're all over the place when you're trying to find a balance. So just having a community of support and everything, that's so key. Like I say, when I found your group, I'm like, wow, this is what I've been looking for. So yeah, like I said, once again, your group is really a blessing. I know it's helped me a lot and helps me. I know it has helped so many people, and I'm just excited to see how it's going to grow. And I just can't believe that you just started that in 2020. Like, coming into it, you would think that's something this group has been there for years. So that's amazing.
Thank you so much, April.
No problem. It's truly amazing. So I wanted to kind of just ask about speaking, like speaking engagements and stuff like that. So for anybody who's coming into coaching, or like or let's say someone's a motivational life coach, okay, and they want to coach, but they want to do speaking engagements too. So what's the best advice you would give to someone to kind of get into speaking? Like, what's the approach for that?
So I always tell people there are so many approaches to everything, right? Now I can share what worked for me. It may not work for other people. So when I started as a coach, I started as an empowerment speaker as well. So for me, it went hand in hand. And sometimes people don't know what life coaches do, but if you say you're a speaker, they'll listen to you. And then they're like, oh, okay, this is what you do. You help people, right? So for me, I had to get myself in position to get opportunities to speak, and I had to make opportunities for me to speak. So start your own platforms. I had my first podcast in like 2013. A lot of people didn't have podcasts back then. Now it's a lot more accessible, which is a great thing. But I started my podcast so I could put myself out there. I started hosting back then teleconferences. So everybody wasn't jumping on Zoom back in 2013. We were jumping on conference lines talking. And so I started having teleconferences about subjects that were dear to my heart. And I would invite other people to share the platform. It's always been about community for me. Then at the same time as I became a life coach, I was a volunteer for a nonprofit that meant a lot to me. As a volunteer, they allowed me to speak at different engagements and to, facilitate workshops, to be the guest speaker for certain events. My first big speaking engagement was because of my volunteer opportunity. And so, yes, they were not paying me, but I got so much experience. And I got to tell people while I was speaking on their behalf, like, yeah, I got my own business too, right?
Yeah.
So there was no conflict of interest. And here's the thing, that volunteer opportunity grew into a job offer. And so I got to do more speaking. I got to sharpen my skills. So, speak often, volunteer to speak. Everything does not have to be about money. I've done plenty of speaking engagements for free because I wanted the exposure, and that's what you need as a speaker, right? So I started off doing it for free. Now people pay me to speak. In 2020, when everything was shut down, a family actually hired me to speak at their family reunion on Zoom. It was not my family. I didn't know those people, but they asked for recommendations, and somebody was like, hey, Sharika would be good for that, right? And I did it. And I got to use some of my life coaching tools while I do my speaking engagements, right? So we could do meditation. Like, okay, y'all, we're all going to meditate. Close your eyes, right? We can do all sorts of things that will intertwine life coaching with motivational speaking. So put yourself out there.
That's so good. That's so helpful. That is so good. And I forgot what other I'm sorry, I forgot what other thing I wanted to mention. But what I like, everything you said, it's about serving. Serving, whatever the gift is a person may have, serving the gift. The moral of the story is any type of entrepreneurship, anything we're doing, we can't, I guess, come into it expecting to make money right away. It's a season of serving and sowing good seeds, and so how important is it to just have that mindset? Because of course, I have that mindset. I know that. But let's say someone is watching and listening who just want to get in it for the money. Like, what's the best advice you could tell them at this point?
Well, listen, as a person who's been on this entrepreneurship journey for years. And before I was a life coach, I had a different business while still working. But here's the thing. You can chase money, and there are, entrepreneurship opportunities that will help you make a profit a little sooner, sell something else. But if you are looking to actually help people and you are working a business where you're supposed to serve people and actually help them, you have to be careful working with people. People are precious. You can't look at people as just a means to an end or just a way to, get a bag. That's not how it works. And what you sow, you will reap. What goes around will always come around. So you may think you're getting over by, scheming, scamming, plotting just to get some money, but you can lose it so easily and it's not worth it. But when you serve from your heart, when you show up in purpose, when you actually help people, so many good things come from it. Money will come, but that's not even the best part. There's so much peace and freedom and love and hope. And those things, they're so much better than money, because money can be here today and gone tomorrow, but nobody can steal your peace. Nobody can steal your joy. Nobody can steal real love that you're sharing with other people.
Yeah. That's so super helpful, because it's like peace, having, let's say a person, their peace may be money. It's like, okay, when you have the peace of God, when you have God first in your life and just have that peace, everything else flows, because it's like, okay, having that peace, the peace of God, the world didn't give that, so the world can't take that. But when it's money and other things like that, it's like, okay, if the money leaves, if this leaves, that, then that means the peace leaves with it, because the peace is in that. So
exactly.
when I think about purpose and peace, it's like all that just comes into full alignment. So I really enjoyed it. This was a very good episode. Once again, thank you so much for coming on here. Thank you for your group. Thank you for all you do to just help people, to help coaches, men, women, people of color, and people overall. Like I said, your group is really a blessing, just to be able to come in there, and it ain't no, you know how somebody may feel like, okay, well, I don't want to ask you. This may be a stupid question. It's like, it's none of that. It's just all love and support. So once again, thank you for your group, and thank you for all that you do, because it is so helpful, so very helpful.
Thank you, April, for this opportunity. And I wish you the best with your podcast and with your coaching and your merch.
Thank you so much. Before we get off here, is there anything you want to share? Anything coming up? Your information, how they can find your podcast. Just share your information.
So yes, you can find me at blacklifecoachconnection.com and at selfcaregarden.com. And you can look up those things on Instagram and Facebook and find me there. Also, Life Coach Eureka, Life Coach Eureka Dustin. You can Google that and I'll pop up. The name of my podcast is the Peace, Purpose, and Prosperity podcast. It's available on all the major platforms. So check me out. And into April, it's like the last week of April. Let me not give specific dates, but I'm a part of the Epic Mom Summit. That's for moms with kids between the ages of 5 and 12. So I will be sharing more of that information on my websites and on social media.
Okay, Epic Mom. That sounds like that's gonna be exciting. Yeah, but once again, thank you so much for coming on here. And I wish you the best of, just success and everything. I pray you continue to do all that you're doing to help people, and the best of luck with everything you got going on.
Thank you so much.
All right, Coach Eureka, you have a good one.
You too. Bye.